President Joe Biden welcomed the Dutch Prime Minister to the White House today.
And the pair discussed a number of things, including export restrictions aimed at China and Russia's ongoing their ongoing invasion of Ukraine. The visit comes as the U.S. stares down the barrel of default on its debts. And as a special counsel investigates documents marked classified discovered at President Biden's Delaware home and former D.C. office.
CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us now to discuss what's taking place there today. Nancy, let's start with the debt ceiling. Why is the White House refusing to negotiate with Kevin McCarthy? Moments ago, we heard the House Speaker kind of lay out his priorities. What's the word from the president?
The word from the White House, Errol, is that they don't want to set a precedent where basically any time you vote to raise the debt ceiling, which is simply to authorize spending that has already been in the works for years, that you somehow get some kind of a prize, a cookie, as one Democrat put it, that you get this prize for being willing to keep the economy from crashing. Now, truth be told, this is a strategy that both sides have used in the past when they were in the minority, for the simple reason that you don't have that many bites at the apple. You don't have that many opportunities to force the majority, that is the party in the White House and the party in this case that controls the Senate, the Democrats, to sit down at the negotiating table and give you something that you want. So Democrats have done it, Republicans have done it. The problem with this strategy is, A, you never know if you're going to get blamed if there is, in fact, a problem that hits the economy because of the brinksmanship, because you let this get too far, because you let the credit, the full faith and credit of the United States get downgraded. And you don't know if it's going to be successful, if the other side will blink first. So it is a risky strategy, but it is one both sides have employed. And the problem is that because the Treasury Secretary has now said, that she can use these extraordinary measures to basically keep paying the bills until June. Well, guess what? You know how this works in all kinds of situations when Congress is involved. That means everybody's got until June to figure this out, to sit down at the bargaining table. And so it's very likely that we don't see any kind of solution here until we get down to the final hours.
Yeah, it's almost like your professor says that the paper is due on Friday.
The same thing.
But if you can't do it by Friday, you'll have until the end of the semester, and everybody's already looking at the end of the semester. Nancy, let's turn to the controversy surrounding the documents labeled classified that were found at President Biden's private office and home. Tell us what's the latest on that, and how typical is it for documents like these to leave the White House?
These documents are not ever supposed to leave the White House unless they're going to some other secure area. In fact, there's a very specific procedure for who can have access to these documents, who can hand them to a president or vice president, who's responsible for making sure that those documents are then retrieved and put in a secure location. They're signed in, they're signed out. So there is a process that is involved here. It's not the kind of situation where at the end of a long day, a whole bunch of classified and unclassified documents typically get swept up into a pile and placed in a box. So there are definitely some questions here about how exactly it happened in this case, that a small number of documents from the president's 8-year term as vice president ended up in these boxes in non-secure areas like his home, like the Penn Biden Center. And that's what the special counsel is going to be investigating.
And a topic that President Biden keeps being asked about, although the answers have been very few and far between. I understand he's got quite a busy day today, hosting not just a prime minister, but a basketball team as well. Tell us what's happening there.
That's right. As you mentioned, he did sit down with the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. They're talking about Ukraine. They are talking about semiconductors. But what everyone is watching for here at the White House today is that celebration this afternoon with the 2022 NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors. And this is notable not only because everyone is waiting to get a glimpse of Steph Curry, but also because the Golden State Warriors skipped 2 visits to the White House when they won the championships in 2017, 2018. You might recall that former President Trump sort of extended a personal invitation, and then he rescinded it because Curry said that he would vote not to go because he did not agree with the former president's policies, and there were other teammates who shared his view. So they were basically uninvited the last two times that they won the championship. But Curry says he is excited to be returning to the White House today. So that'll be a joyous moment and very interesting to watch.
All right. Nancy Cordes, thanks.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.